Assalamu alaikum. You're tuned in to the news on ITV. I'm Nafisa Dango. In the headlines, the Muslim Youth Movement has honoured Dr. Omaruddin Don Mattera's contribution to South Africa's freedom. Africa Muslims Agency hands over winter packs to relief organisations in Cape Town. And Iran unveils a new mobile air defence system called the Herz-9. The Muslim Youth Movement and Awqaf South Africa have honoured Dr. Omaruddin Don Mattera's lifelong contribution to the country's freedom and reconciliation process. Dr. Mattera was presented with numerous awards on the weekend at the Nana Memorial Hall. ITV's Abdurrahman Laili was present at the function to gather glimpses of this event.
Honorary Dr. Omaruddin Don Mattera brought guests at the function to tears in his acceptance speech after receiving a number of accolades from Muslim Youth Movement and Awqaf South Africa. Many of his extended family, spanning 3 generations, were present. In sincere acknowledgement of people who had been supportive of him and his work throughout the years, he not only mentioned them by name, but drew the guests to commend them by individually requesting them to stand so that they could be noted. Present at the gathering were stalwarts of struggle for a free South Africa, the likes of Dr. Ram Saluji and Dr. S.A. Nana, amongst many others. Dr. Mattera spoke of his reversion to Islam. He gave words of inspiration to young poets who rendered pieces at the function and emphasized compassion as the uniting thread between all human beings. He concluded with a rendition of a piece of poetry he has prepared for an invite he plans to honor at the end of the month by the Organization of African Unity.
Of African Unity, 50 years and counting, a rhetorical eulogy. Blessed Mother Africa, behold the bold, bright dawn of serious reflection and decision has arrived, coming from across the winding, stormy years. It is the serving breath of a half-century.
For ITV News, Abdurrahman Laili reporting.
Community radio broadcaster Radio 1584 is now back on air after a 5-year sabbatical break. The station was officially launched last week and will be serving the Lodium and surrounding communities. ITV's Hassan Islo visited the radio station and filed this report.
Radio 1584, a community radio station serving the Lodium, Erasmia and surrounding communities, is now back on air after renewing its broadcasting license. The radio station, which belongs to the Institute for Islamic Services, had been off air for the past 5 years. Mohammed Shoaib, the new station manager for Radio 1584, told ITV News that the radio station has been revamped with new equipment and improved programming. He said the radio station has received good response thus far from listeners since it was relaunched last week.
The radio station was brought back on air because due to public demand. The public actually needs a radio station as you have in all other areas in terms of community radio station. Also, when the radio station came back on air, we have introduced a mentorship program where we take people from the community itself and develop them into journalism, more especially broadcast journalism. The response has been very good. The community at large wanted the radio station back, therefore the radio show program, where it caters for everyone in the community. That is the ethos of the radio station. The content is obviously 80% Islamic, 20% is catered for Hindus, Christians, as well as black ethnic groups.
Meanwhile, Adil Sheikh, the only producer at Radio 1584, says even though the station has been on air for only 8 days, the radio station now has a few live programs. I interviewed him inside the radio studios regarding his duties as a producer.
The producer of Radio 1584, I basically manage all the adverts that fly on air during live shows. The making of advertising is done by the 2 colleagues of mine which are currently in training and are being trained by myself. And basically at the moment I'm giving them training to be on the mixing board as well. I do supervise them when they are doing the shows. And obviously, during this course, there shouldn't be any noise. So obviously, everyone's quiet. Everything works on hand signals. So basically, if I'm about to tell you you're going to be in air, I'll tell you 5 seconds, just a hand signal like that. So you know you're going to be on air in 5 seconds.
Mohammed Shoaib hopes that with the support of the community and sponsors, the radio station will one day become a 24 hours broadcaster.
Radio 1584 broadcasts on medium wave and AM. And yeah, pretty soon, inshallah, we should be on live streaming as well. So we would bring the world to Lodium as opposed to Lodium going out to the world.
For ITV News, I'm Hassan Islo reporting in the studios of Radio 1584 in Lodium, Pretoria.
Heavy rains in China have killed 55 people and an additional 14 people are now missing. The Chinese Ministry of Civil Affairs said that the rainstorms in southern China are causing floods and landslides. More rain is expected with additional flooding this week.
Chinese authorities say rainstorms that battered southern China on the weekend have killed at least 55 people. The Chinese state broadcaster CCTV said storms which hit Fujian's Wuping County on Saturday had displaced hundreds of people. One resident told CCTV that houses began flooding early on Sunday morning as water levels rose to nearly 2 meters above the ground. Footage showed rescuers helping residents, including the elderly and small babies, out of their flooded homes. Meanwhile, the Chinese Ministry of Civil Affairs website says at least 9 provinces have had storms and some flooding and landslides since last Tuesday. It says Guangdong province has been hit the hardest, with 36 deaths and 10 missing people, followed by Yangtze province, where 6 people are reported dead and 4 more missing. Guangdong's weather service forecasts more heavy rain along with thunder, strong wind gusts and hail in the coming days, and warns of flooding and mudslides. Floods are common in China, killing almost 700 people in 2012 in southern China. I am Farouk Sirkot for ITV News, Johannesburg.
The Cape Town office of the Africa Muslims Agency has handed over winter packs to relief organisations operating in the mother city. AMA says they choose to give the blankets to organisations already operating in different areas instead of going into the areas themselves. ITV's Samit Moos has more from our Cape Town desk.
The Cape Town office of the Africa Muslims Agency handed over winter warmth packs to organisations in the Western Cape over the weekend. Imran Chunara, the National Director.
All our funding comes from donors in South Africa. So the first thing before we start, anything you see here today or any little bit of work we attempt to do is all because of donors. It's not because of us. And I'm sure I share the same sentiments as many of the organizations here. We believe we are not the ones that are doing the poor people a favor by giving them blankets or giving them food or doing anything for them. They are doing us a favor by allowing us to serve them.
This is a different approach from other relief organizations where relief is handed over to organizations instead of directly to the members of the community.
You know, for us, we just look at it this way, that if somebody already has a footprint on the ground and they've already have the logistical support on the ground, it doesn't make sense for us to go and reinvent what they do, because we don't want to spend extra money setting up administration or setting up the facility to be able to be on the ground, get extra staff, get extra vehicles to be on the ground physically. If an organization is strong in an area and they're doing good work in an area, we would rather encourage them by supporting them with some bulk material.
The Islamic Coordinating Council and the Mustadafin Foundation were amongst the recipients of the goods. They welcome this approach by the Africa Muslims Agency.
That is in actual fact the best way of doing it, because normally if they are doing it on their own, they'll do duplications where some of the people that are really needing won't get the necessary goods, what they fully deserve, inshallah.
Every organisation that operates on the ground has a relatedness with the communities with which they operate. They know those communities and they can easily identify exactly which families are the ones who are in dire need and what are different between the different needs of different families. So it actually makes it easier for us to ensure that those specific needs are met.
For ITV News in Cape Town, I'm Samit Moos.
Iran's Defense Ministry, alongside the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, have unveiled a domestically built mobile air defense system called Herza 9. Iran's Defense Minister, Brigadier General Ahmed Vahidi, said Herza will be in position to detect and target enemy helicopters rockets and fighter jets at low ranges and low altitudes between 8 and 12 kilometers.
Iran unveils a new air defense system. On Monday, Iran's defense ministry, alongside the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps Aerospace Force, the IRGC-AF, unveiled a domestically built mobile air defense system called Hers 9. Iran's defense minister, Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi, commented on this new achievement.
Iran is amongst only a few leading world countries to produce such an air defense system domestically. This mobile defense system is more advanced and capable than our previous air defense models. The most important aspect is that it's mobile and can be used and activated within a matter of minutes.
This new air defense system is another achievement for Iran's military defense. Iran's defense minister, Brigadier General Vahidi, has explained Iran is a country that has neither imposed or threatened any country to go into war. However, it is willing to defend its sovereignty at any time against anyone. Hers 9 can identify and target enemy helicopters, rockets, and fighter jets at low range and low altitudes of about 8 to 12 kilometers. This mobile air defense system uses the most technologically advanced computer hardware and software and the latest navigation system available today. Brigadier General Vahidi said Iran has produced this defense system despite the recent wave of unilateral sanctions of the West against Iran.
They want to sanction military parts and ban the aviation industry from selling Iran planes. Today we build all these parts and equipments domestically. Iran can build a variety of planes. Sanctions make us stronger.
Iran's defense ministry and the IRGC-AF Future Project is to build a domestic high-range and high-altitude air defense system, which experts believe to be one of the most difficult tasks in military defense.
Stay with us. We will be back shortly after this break.